Do you feel like you're spending more and more on ads and all you're getting is constant follow-up, higher no-show rates, tire kickers, and no new patients? What if I told you it's not your ad, it's not your offer, it's actually when you're asking people to book with you? So, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact reasons why your ad campaigns have stopped working. I'm going to show you the exact process we use to consistently book pre-sold qualified appointments for practices just like yours. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you the 3 most common mistakes to avoid when implementing this yourself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Hayden Cresswell. I help health professionals like chiropractors, med spas, dentists, PTs, and more grow their practice by consistently generating new patients without spending more and more on ads, unreliable marketing agencies, and constant follow-up. So let's get right into it. The number one reason why your ads are not working right now is because you're trying to sell to strangers. Nobody buys from strangers. It worked in the past. The ad, offer, immediately book appointment, they showed up, it worked. It doesn't anymore because we are at the lowest point of interpersonal trust in decades, according to research. That means nobody trusts anybody anymore, certainly not a person they just saw one ad on the internet. So no one buys from strangers. When's the last time you bought something expensive from a person you just met? Probably doesn't happen very often. So what you're actually doing, I'm sure you've all heard of the funnel, your sales funnel and all that. You're literally taking a new lead, a stranger, someone who saw your stuff, and you're asking them to book immediately and then pay you money. It doesn't work. You're missing a whole 2 sections of your funnel. So that brings us to problem number 2 is the trust gap. You're not convincing new leads, strangers, and viewers that they know you, they like you, they trust you, that you're the expert in the area, and that if they don't work with you, they're not going to get the results that they want. So we have you're selling to strangers, you're not filling that trust gap to where they know, like, and trust you. Well, they'll pay you money, and that's attracting your tire kickers. So all of these reasons are literally because you're trying to sell to strangers. Now, I get it. That worked in the past. It just simply doesn't work anymore. So what does that lead? That leads you to this. What you've been doing, which is the ad, book a call, constant follow-up to try and get them to either book the call or show up and all that stuff, you get into what I call the doom cycle. So you're spending even more money on ads, you're getting a bunch of leads if you have a nice offer, and you're constantly just having to chase them down. You book some of them, most, maybe half of them no-show, which wastes your time, energy, and money. The people who do show are generally tire kickers. They're shopping around. They're seeing what you do, how you can help them, all that stuff. You have a very low close rate, and it means you have to spend even more money on ads to get even more leads to chase them down. What you don't want to do is that. It's insane, yet 90% of practices are still doing it. And I'll tell you why. It's not your fault. It's because that's what marketing agencies have taught you. That's what they're still pushing, and it just doesn't work anymore. So how do we fix this? How are the successful practices in your area and other areas actually making their ads and campaigns work? They're doing it a new way. They're not asking strangers to book with them. They're asking the people at the bottom of the funnel, and they're using content to fill that gap. Now, don't freak out. You don't have to become a YouTube influencer. You don't have to become an Instagram influencer. It doesn't take much. So the new way is you have an ad or even organic. They're going to find your content. It builds that trust and authority. They're pre-sold when you ask them or they book themselves. They've already gone through the trust, the know, the like, they trust you. They know you can help them. They're pre-sold. So they actually show up because they know the results they can get and they know you're the person who can provide them. And then guess what? It's way easier to sell them and they actually buy from you. So what we want to do is eliminate the old way, which is your ad to book a call to follow up, and you want to build a system that does this. And don't freak out, it doesn't take as much work as you think. So how does it work? How do we do it in our predictable patient protocol? It works in 3 phases. Phase 1 is the authority stack. That's what we're going to call it. And what happens in this is you're creating content specifically for your ideal customer to sell your top of the line package. We're not selling, $25 adjustments. We're not selling, a free whitening thing for a dentist. We're not selling that. We're selling your top of the line package, but in the content, we're building that authority. So when they consume their content, you're the expert, they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So the authority stack is answering questions that is already in your prospect's head. It's educational content, okay? It is, for instance, Invisalign versus braces. Which one's actually better? The real cost of an orthodontic treatment and why it's worth it. What no one tells you about getting braces in as an adult. If you were a plastic surgeon, rhinoplasty recovery, what the first 2 weeks actually looks like. You have non-surgical versus surgical facelift. Is it, what one's better, or what one's better for you, whatever that means. And then the big goal, which I will hit on later if you stay towards the end, is you're not trying to go viral. You don't need to go viral. It's not about views. It's about the right people seeing your content. Now think about this. If someone is looking for a chiropractor in their area and you have all of this going on, and then another one of your competitors has a very basic website, who do you think they're going to go to? They're going to you because you have that authority stack. They know, they like, they can trust you, all that stuff. Now, phase 2 is our pre-sell sequence. So that's kind of in that funnel area where we just got them to here, they're moving to this. Now we're in that pre-sell sequence. So we're moving them down that funnel. We've built that trust and authority. And what we're going to do with this is we're structuring our content in a specific way that moves them through basically an invisible sales funnel. They don't even know they're doing it, but it's happening to them, so that by the end of it, they're ready to book a call with you. You do this by demonstrating your expertise, by answering specific questions, addressing objectives, and creating desire for the result that they want. And then your calls to actions, the way your videos end, your descriptions of your videos, booking a call, things like that. Now, compare literally just these two first phases to the old way of Facebook ad, book a call, chase them down like your life depends on it, maybe get half of them to show up to thing. It's just so much work. This stuff, you're recording these videos once, and it's working for you 24/7 forever. These videos will be getting you leads and new patients 2 years down the line. What one do you think is going to convert better? It's going to be this. Now, phase 3 is where we're going to kind of kick out and eliminate those tire kickers. And that's with a qualifying lead filter. Now, most of you, I'm sure, have had this. You've got yours when you have ads and stuff like that. You do have forms that they fill out that obviously, name, number, and email, that kind of stuff. We want to add a little bit more than just name, number, and email, because it's actually going to eliminate the people who were never going to buy in the first place. Trust me, if you have a 2 to 3 minute survey form or whatever, where you're collecting the actual information you need to fix the problems that they were looking up in this content before, the people who are actually going to pay you money are more than welcome to spend 2 minutes to fill this out, because they know, like, and trust you, and they want you to help them. So this does 2 things. 1, it filters people out, gets the tire kickers, all of that. And 2, it gives you info before the consultation. They feel better going in knowing that you have that info, and it allows you to come in with a game plan to that actual booked appointment. So you know exactly what you're going to talk about, what they need when you're going in, and you don't have to do guesswork. They're walking in ready to buy from you, and you're saying, hey, yep, we can do this, no problem. For example, let's say someone's trying to find a new primary health care for their family. And they start looking up, primary doctor or healthcare near me, family medicine near me, whatever it may be. And they find videos right under that Google search that says how to choose the right provider for you. And it's from a local doctor. They see what to expect during your first consultation, and it's from a local doctor. They see common mistakes people make when XYZ, and it's from that local doctor. Well, guess what? After a few clicks, after seeing you everywhere, they're going to immediately start liking and trusting you. They're going to book that call either at the end of the video or in the description of your bio, and it's just going to run automatically. It's going to run without your approval, bringing you in new patients while you sleep, while you're on vacation, anything you're doing. This is working 24/7. And it's great because it works organically, like people searching Google. And it also works in paid ads, where if you want to put money into it, you just pump the traffic into this system and it does the work for you. Instead of you constantly following up, you just plop the new leads into this and it does it for you. Now, Compare that to, $50 to $100 for a new lead off of Google ads. Like, we're going to choose this every time. So to recap, we're doing phase one is the authority stack. We're getting content out there. We're answering questions that they want to know. We're not trying to go viral. Phase two is that invisible sales sequence that's going to take them from a new lead to knowing, liking, and trusting you, structuring that content in a specific way so they're clicking to book a call with you. Once they click that, they're getting that lead filter in there. Notice when we're asking them to book, it's not in phase one, it's not in phase two, it's at the end. It's in between phase two and phase three. And guess what? They're doing it themselves. They're not calling your front desk. You're not constantly texting them. They're watching the videos, and the call to action is, hey, click the link in our bio, book a call with us, whatever it may be. They're doing it themselves. We're not asking here. We're asking here. And so the people who actually book are the people ready to pay you money, which is exactly what we want, so we avoid the doom cycle. Like I said, the three little bonuses of the mistakes to avoid when you're doing this yourself. Mistake number one, and that is probably the biggest one I see and the most common one I see, is that you're making videos about you or you're trying to go viral. I'm not saying you can't do a fun, on your Instagram or your TikTok, like a viral video that's going viral in your office, like that kind of stuff. Absolutely, be a human, show them that you're a fun office, all that stuff. But the actual ones in your predictable patient protocol need to be videos specifically about the questions and the conversation they're having in their head about their problems and about your services. So making the videos about you is the number one mistake that I see. Number two is you're not being consistent. You'll have people who make 4 videos in a month and they're like, yes, I did it. And then they never do it again. Now, those 4 videos might bring you a couple people every now and then, but it's about consistency. You don't need to make 100 videos a month, but let's say 1 week or one a week by month, 3, you've got 12 videos that are constantly working for you 24/7, even 2 years down the line. Now, number 3 mistake is overcomplicating it. This is also what I see a lot, is they're trying to get a beautiful setup in their office. They're buying a $10,000 studio. Not really, but you don't need that stuff. It's not production value. It's providing value. So the 3 things you really need for it are good info, quality info about them and not trying to go viral. You need quality audio, YouTube, Instagram, anything like that. The better the audio, the more likely they're going to stay and actually watch your video. And you need clear delivery. You just need to be able to talk to yourself, have high energy, make sure you're a real person that they can clearly understand. Those are going to be the main 3 things. Now, if you want us to do this for you, go ahead and book your call today by clicking the link in the description of this video. Or if you're not ready to work with us, no problem. Check out our next video on the side of this screen to help you with your predictable patient protocol.